Welcome to another episode of The Velvet Hammer.
And here we go.
Okay, so I have an interesting thought. And I want to
What
talk
is the thought?
It's about leadership. And as you know, I am the leader of the law firm.
You are?
Well, in
I
certain
didn't know
ways.
that.
In certain ways.
Well, why don't you illuminate us, oh great leader?
But I want to talk about some of my deficiencies with respect, not in a different way than we have before. Because I mean, I'm open to talking about deficiencies as a leader.
Okay.
So, my philosophy started in being a leader, obviously, very long time ago when I used to take care of my brothers and sisters. Right, that was involuntary leadership.
Okay.
But my first experience of having to be a leader was when I was president of trial lawyers. And what I learned, the way that I learn isn't by people telling me. It's by observation and kind of seeing what works and doesn't work, that kind of thing. And what I started to see, and it actually, though, I think at the time, so the executive director was Gerhard Letzing. And what I started to see was that what didn't work with leadership was someone that just told people what to do or that threatened people. If you don't do this, then this is going to happen.
Yeah, that's dictatorship.
And what I learned was that the best way to be a leader was to be very positive and to encourage people.
Yes. And
also to acknowledge people and etc. However, and I still believe that. However, and this is where this is one of those, it's not exactly a therapy session, but I do need your input. As a result of that philosophy, which I've brought over to the office, I think that there have been some unintended consequences that are negative.
What?
I think there's two of them.
What are they?
Well, the one of them is, for example, when I share a good result, I make sure that everybody that was working on it, from me on down, feels equally important.
Okay.
And I did that recently and was criticized for doing that by two of my partners, because they said you need to be able to accept that the other team members without you would have been able to do this, but it's your additional presence, your work, your input that made something extraordinary. And I had to get back and be comfortable even thinking that that was true.
Okay.
So that's issue number one is, and I've always been very bad at being able to accept compliment. And part of this is because my parents were super critical, my mother in particular. Like, I used to play piano, and she never said anything nice about it, other than when I was doing a concert, and then she would tell everyone, oh, how great it was. She never could give a compliment to my face. It was other people, and I was always embarrassed by that. I just didn't like it. And so I carried that into, I've always had that way. Like, you can't compliment me. I will evade, I will change a subject, I will not accept it.
Can I ask something really quick?
Yeah.
Did she also compliment other people for their accomplishments?
No.
Okay.
Other than herself.
Yeah, well.
She's a bit of a narcissist.
I figured that.
And so that was issue number one. And then issue number two is, because of that, I don't know if people realize how self-effacing I am. I am very self-effacing. I don't know if people just take it for granted.
What do you mean?
Or that's what I mean. I cannot accept a compliment. I won't.
Okay.
As a result of that, there's been times when I've thought that, one thing for me that's a big deal is respect. I need people to respect. Respect me. I've always needed that. Like, I want to be respected but not complimented. Is that a weird thing? Like, in my jobs, I want to be acknowledged for what I've done. I don't want to hear some platitude of, you're so wonderful. That means nothing to me. I want this it's a very strained relationship between the two of them that exists. And most people don't know this. You just see it as, you know. And I think also, because I'm so willing to just thank everybody and be very self-effacing, that it could backfire upon me and undermine people's understanding of what I'm bringing to the equation, because I'm so quick to thank others and not take credit for myself.
Wow. Okay. One, I do know that about you. I do know that you do not know how to take compliments, because when I've tried to give you affirmations, what you will do is use what I call segue words and shift the conversation to something else.
Correct.
And you've done that to me repeatedly. Now that's something a little bit different than what you're talking about is leadership and what it means to be a leader.
I think it affects my leadership.
I give you that.
And the good thing, right? The good thing is that you have a leader that doesn't hog all. I mean, people would be surprised. I do not hog all the attention. Those people that think I hug all the attention, I don't. But somehow I don't think it's always a good thing.
I don't know about if it's a good thing or a bad thing, Karen, but I think that actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, I do
Sometimes you don't need to say anything. And I'm a big believer in this. If you don't know my value, I am not going to tell you my value. If you are not curious to know my value, then I am not interested in having you in my sphere of what I believe to be people that are important to me.
But how are you at taking compliments?
I'm not, affirmations from the people who are in my sphere mean a great deal to me.
Yeah, you like them.
I like them.
You're the opposite of me.
Yeah, I like them.
Like if I give you an affirmation, you are like glowy puppy.
Yes.
Yes. He's like glowy puppy.
Yes.
He's like so happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
versus me, I'm like, kick the dog. I'm like, don't
get away.
But if you're not accepting the affirmation, is it impacting your ability to lead? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
Okay.
And it's not that I just don't accept it. I also want to hear it, but I don't accept it. It's a very complicated. I want to hear it. Like, you should give me an affirmation, but I may outwardly reject it. Does this make sense, Mike?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm exactly like that.
What is
I don't
this?
like to take compliments at all. And
But you
I think,
want them.
well, of course, I think everybody wants them, no matter what they say.
But you want them, but you don't take them well.
No, because I
How-
feel
what-
like it's the same for me. I had a father who didn't compliment me, but he also would spend a lot of time talking about other, like his other, so-and-so's son, they did this or
comparing.
that
Yeah.
comparison, which made me feel even smaller. But the other part for me is I always like to be part of a team. And which is interesting because I don't like to be around people that much either. So just in the same way that you said that you want the compliments, but you don't want them, I want to be part of a team, but I don't want to be around any of the team.
People are complicated.
But it's, for me, it's being part of a team means that you don't take the compliment, that you don't need the compliment because everyone needs the compliment together.
Yeah.
I see.
This is where the leadership part comes in. So I believe that. But I think that sometimes, even in my own firm, that I'm not respected enough.
Well, I think that that's where some of the needing the compliments come in.
Yeah.
Because you recognize when you don't get it as less worth.
And because maybe not everybody is in the inner circle of people that I know exactly where they are. And I have a very strong relationship with them. This is a big firm. I have acquaintances in the law firm, and I have, closer people to me in the law firm. So, interesting.
I think that the question of respect and acknowledging your worth and complimenting you and leadership are all tied together.
I know. This is why I raised it.
And I think
in a weird way.
Well, I think that you can, as a leader, sometimes you have to demand respect. And there are ways in which you can demand respect as a leader.
But you see, like, that's
Okay.
also an anathema, right? Like, that's just like saying, that you don't want to have someone give you a compliment if you have to ask for it.
Respect and asking for a compliment, I think, are distinct things.
Okay, good. Because I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
respect is bigger than a compliment.
yes.
Respect is the compliment realized always.
Yes.
So that, and that's what I want too. I mean, that's where I would say I am. I don't need people to compliment me for things. I need to know that they know that I'm going to do that every time, that that's what's going to happen, so that they want me there because they know that that's going to happen.
that's a good point.
And the other thing is communicating that out, Karen, is, I think.
But I think that there's also a line between, in law firms and in many corporate structures, between respect and fear. Because my position, like, I think that there are probably some people, especially like newer lawyers, that would fear me first meeting me, versus respecting me.
But that's your responsibility.
I know.
And how you develop relationship as a leader with the people you lead. You know, I think leadership is actually not that difficult if you buy into the principle of the buck stops with me. I am accountable. If I'm the leader, I am accountable. If the culture, there's something going on, I take responsibility for that, and I will lead. And then if somebody is not respecting my leadership, then they can't be part of the culture. I think it's kind of very straightforward. And I think that the other stuff, like for me, when I'm in leadership positions in sports or in other settings that I'm in leadership in organizations, that's the mindset I bring in.
You're a dude.
I thought we're not supposed to use that word anymore. Wait a minute. I didn't use the word.
No,
Mike,
you didn't.
I did not say.
It's on film.
It's on film. Oh my goodness.
You're a guy, and I'm not, and it's different.
Okay.
It's only a little different, because I would say that a certain amount of fear from subordinates is needed, because that's acknowledging the power that the leader has. But what I would consider a good leader is someone who has that, but doesn't utilize it except in the situations where it's needed, and never uses it against a subordinate.
I don't even like the word subordinate.
Yeah, I know, but I was struggling with
Yeah.
But
the language.
it's the difference between a leader and those that are led. There is a difference. There are people that are being led, and there is a reason why they're not leaders, because they are not either ready or want to or fit to be leaders. And that's just the way the world is organized. And so you have to respect hierarchy. You have to respect it. You have to acknowledge it from the bottom up. And I just think that, like, if there is no respect within hierarchy, then to me it's like
That's a weak team.
that's a weak team. You are not going to win. That culture is not going to compete.
Right.
And so to me that is critical. And so, you know, I'm not going to tell you how to lead, Karen. You know exactly how to lead. And I disagree with the dude thing, because I think you transcend dude, you know, or whatever, you know, thing that you just brought up. You transcend that. And I think there's something else that is hedging decisiveness.
What? What?
Oh,
You know what? Say what's on your mind.
I
Say it.
I can't.
Say it. Spit it out.
I think that there's a part of you that wants not to be feared. And being decisive is ultimately going to result in people not only respecting you, but fearing you. And it's about like really growing into that type of leadership where you're like, I'm making a decision and I am doing X, and people will, it'll shake a little bit the hierarchy, it'll shake the structure, and then people will be like, But that's what leaders do. And then they go, I take responsibility for that.
I mean, there's different things that I've led where I don't care. I mean, I don't care. People better fear me. I'm going to be the leader. I'm the one, and we're all in this together. And but if you're talking about the law firm, I really don't. It's true. I don't like to wield power for the sake of wielding power. I don't like structures much. I've already been counseled on this by our coaches. We're already going through a lot of change here because according to them, I was like as far left over in terms of lenient as you could possibly be because I believe in the power of self-governance.
But that's an illusion.
I know this now.
Okay, now you know this. Okay, that's
that
an
was
illusion.
3 years ago.
It's an illusion because the image we are projecting out to the community is that
my watch just went.
Is that the image that we project to the community is that we're an organization whose ethos is real justice, real people.
Yeah.
Okay, that is our ethos, and we have a hierarchy. Just look at our website.
Yeah.
You are the managing partner.
Yeah.
And then, so to me, what is our mission? Who's our leader? Lead, and then we follow. And it's like everything structures down from that. There is no...
I've gotten used to it.
Okay, all right.
But it's something, what is interesting about it is that most leaders of law firms do not have my struggles. They're going to be like Ruthless Mo. I am the leader, and you're going to all follow me, and
why.
I'm going to lead my...
Well, and that's, I could say from when I started here, that was more what it was like when I first started. Yeah. But I would say, to go back to respect of a leader, because I think that's very important. When you have true respect for someone who you are working underneath, you're willing to go to them when you're at your most vulnerable and ask for help or ask for guidance. And a good leader will do that without utilizing the fear that they can wield. They become compassionate and helpful. Some of the ones that we had before you weren't like that.
Okay.
And that's not necessarily a bad leader, but not a respected leader.
But it's a double-edged sword, and the double-edged sword, Mike, is that I think that the gender dynamic plays a big role in this.
Oh, I agree.
I don't think that part of the respect that Karen doesn't get is because of her gender.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's from women of her own gender.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think that...
Women of my own gender?
Well, wait, did I say that right?
You did. You said women...
I don't know that that's
women
right.
of my own gender.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yes.
You know exactly what I mean. Okay, I'm just trying to stay away from dude.
Individuals of your own
I'm trying
gender.
to stay away from terms that are, what I'm saying is that, and so like, I mean, I'll give you a non-specific example, of, I mean, Karen I've worked with some of the greatest lawyers in this country, and she does not get the credit that she deserves as being masterful in how she practices law. Masterful. And, the fact that I've shared this with her, and sometimes she doesn't know how to manage a compliment like that, and I've had to
just gave me I just
chills.
wanted to run away and say...
and I had to be very specific and targeted in describing what I mean by masterful. Mm-hmm. I said, the way in which you pace a case, just pace a case, pacing cases, and you pace cases from beginning to end is masterful. It's like symphony. You know how to move a case from one direction to the next and create this sense of unpredictability for people who need to manage risk. And you do it so well that you never lose control of a case, and that dictates settlements and that dictates verdicts. And I was like, that takes a very masterful ability to do that. And I have never seen any other lawyer pace a case as well as she does. And that is why this firm right now is so frickin' successful. And the fact that, people don't understand the value, this is what I mean. I go back to what I said earlier. I was like, if you don't know my value, I am not going to come and beg you to find it out. If you're not curious about who I am and why I am good at what I do, then I'm not interested in having you in my sphere. Now, that's not from the context of a leader, Karen. A leader has to understand why they choose to have people in their spheres and why they don't. You're responsible. You're the leader. This is you. You've created it.
Yes.
Okay, so you can't be upset about it.
I'm not upset about it.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it is, nothing is ever straightforward because we're humans. And there's just all these weird dichotomies and different things that motivate us or unmotivate us or that we like or don't like. And it's not just people like black and white. Like people like things that are simple and straightforward. But when you look at who we are, we're never.
No.
We're not.
No. But I just gave you a compliment, and you took it.
Well,
I thought you received it pretty well.
I didn't. I didn't.
How was that compliment? It was accurate. It was genuine.
It was very accurate.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I got a lot more, but she doesn't want to hear it.
I don't.
And I'll see her do stuff, Mike, and I go, okay.
Woof.
Woof.
Well, that's all for today.
Until next time.